Welcome back to math. Let's look at proportions and percentages today. First thing is we'd like to know what a proportion is, and we've done some things with proportions, so I just kind of want to remind you that a proportion is a fraction of a whole or a part of a whole. So you can say like 1 out of 200 Americans have run a marathon. 98%, that means 98 out of 100. And then there's some others that don't give you proportions, but they do have numbers. So you can sometimes look at, these are headlines from newspapers, and you can look at those and see some proportions in them, and we look at those frequently in our world. So I like you guys to understand how they come up with these proportions. And for example, if we're looking at car sales, we have the mid-size cars, and there were 311,000 some sold. Small cars, 267,000 plus some. Luxury and so on. The large cars, the smallest number of them were sold. And this is from the Wall Street Journal, What's Moving, U.S. Auto Sales. And so you can look that up online. This is actual data, which I really like to use in this class so that we can just see what's going on in our world and be able to understand it from the mathematics side of things. What we need to know for a proportion, because we talked about the proportion up here being a fraction of a whole, we need to know what the whole is for April 2014 car sales. And we have all of the broken down values, but we don't have the total. So we just need to add those up and come up with the total. And I'm hoping that you're calculating along with me, because sometimes I make mistakes. But what I see is that we have 676,274 cars that were sold in April of 2014. What that means is for a proportion, I can write this first one as 311,328 over 676,274. And then to find that as a percent, we just take those numbers. We can leave it in fraction form for the proportions. We could simplify, but when you use your calculator to do the fraction button, it won't simplify a number that large. You can try it, but it just will give you a decimal value for it, which is fine. So we can do 311,328 divided by 676,274, and I just push equals, and I get 0.4035, and I'm going to want to round to 4 decimal places, so that's going to change that because I have a 5 following the digit I want to round to. I need to bump it up 1, so it's going to become 0.4604. That button. So I have 0.4604, and I just want to multiply by 100 to change it into a percent. So we can write that up here, times 100. That'll convert us into a percent. We can also just move our decimal 2 places to the right, right? So from right here, go 1, 2, and it'll be 46.04%. Okay. Now, pause the video and go ahead and try the rest of these and see what you get.